So it is already May of 2025, and ever since April 14th took place, we all witnessed the overall backlash related to Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, Katy Perry, Gayle King, and even Jeff Bezos' fiance, by the way, who was also on board of there. But we also know that at the same exact time, Katy Perry is only making things worse, day in and day out, when it comes to the backlash, the pushback coming from the general public, calling it out for what it really is, and of how phony this really was, how people are just very tired of entitled celebrities, especially those in particular to those that went up in space, and I say quote-unquote space. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with what Katy Perry recently got caught doing, and how this is only going to create more issues down the road. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Katy Perry right now is that we know that she's not only A, dealing with the backlash, and also B, doubling down on damage control related to the backlash, and C, she is very much seemingly busy with the overall tour that she likes to call, of course, the Lifetimes Tour. We all know that was deeply inspired by the Eras Tour. I think that it's very clear. But what's interesting about this has a lot more to do with Katy Perry herself and what she's doing right now that's only going to make things way worse for the months to come. Let's get into this. Now, interestingly enough, we know that Katy Perry is stopping at nothing to water down the backlash. She wants to do anything possible to really own the backlash. She wants to own the overall critics. She wants to own the criticism, if you will, of everything that has been going on since 2+ weeks ago. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with this. Now, with the Katy Perry backlash seemingly getting worse, the more that she doubles down with damage control, one major development that is now going on both behind the scenes and in the public eye for Katy Perry involves more to do with how she recently got caught doing the most embarrassing thing yet before, of course, everything actually took place with her tour and how more concerts are coming out. However, a shocking turn of events right now is that there is a growing division with Katy Perry's own team after she was recently caught by getting involved in new plans for her career, specifically for the Lifetimes Tour. Now, already Perry is planning to create not just brand new dance moves and choreography sequences that will be deeply inspired by both space and her experience in the Blue Origin capsule, but also she is now planning to dance using these new moves for her upcoming concerts for the summer, where the footage of the space flight will be played in the background, including the infamous shot of Katy Perry holding the daisy in front of the camera. Now, a shot that many found to be very cringeworthy, but not also that, but also phony in general. Now, though Katy Perry's manager and agent are welcoming this idea, other members of her team, such as her publicists and others, are urging her to not pursue this path, as they themselves know it will only spark more backlash down the road. Now, to make matters worse, for Perry's sake right now, is that she is also working with her fashion designers, get this, to create brand new costumes and attire that will be used on stage that will be modeled after her Blue Origin spacesuit in a new vision catered to her Lifetimes tour, something that her entire team is now seriously divided over. Now, Perry is also in the works to create a suit that will actually be deeply inspired by an astronaut suit, with the helmet and everything else that comes along with it, as she once did years ago on MTV. However, this design is planned to be done in blue. Now, the worst thing out of all of this is, though she is actually working on a song that will be inspired by her spaceflight, she is now already in the talks of creating a full-fledged music video with producers that will be inspired by her journey in space. The latest development with this one in particular, however, is that she plans to incorporate the footage of her time in the Blue Origin capsule to serve as quick shots in the music video itself. She has already been in the talks with both Blue Origin and Jeff Bezos on using the actual footage for her music video, and they reportedly already gave her the go-ahead and the okay on that, since they view it as a great stunt to promote their company. Guys, let me just say one thing about this. The fact that Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin, everyone else on board over there, the fact that they are allowing any of this to happen just goes to show you how incompetent Blue Origin really is, and how they believe that this is going to serve as great publicity I think that they really do have rocks in their head, because they don't really see everything of what's going on right now with the backlash, the pushback, everything else in between. A lot of people are just fed up with Katy Perry. In fact, even Katy Perry fans are beginning to walk away. Not just from her Lifetimes tour, but just from herself in general. People are just very tired of her, about how insufferable she really is, not just on social media, but also how she's been acting out in her very own concerts. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the choreography out there that she's been using on stage, but it is beyond cringe. And it is making people walk away. It is making people question themselves. Is Katy Perry okay? Is everything going on, okay with her on stage? Because it doesn't really seem like she's taking the backlash and the criticism well at this point. And the fact that she is trying to own it, she is trying to actually stand up against it by incorporating it into her own career, I think it speaks volumes. It really just goes to show you how narcissistic she truly is, and I think this was a plan right from the get-go, as she admitted just a couple days ago, honestly. I mean, she really just indirectly admitted it, that she wanted to use the Blue Origin spaceflight as a form of inspiration to enhance her career as a performer, as a singer, if you will. So, moving on, however, Katy Perry didn't just get caught by her team working with fashion designers to work on one costume that will be modeled after an astronaut suit and the Blue Origin spacesuit itself, but also, she is already working on a specific costume that will be inspired by Earth itself. Her plan is to create a costume for one of her concerts for the month of August, where she will be covered in a suit based on the many maps of different countries, where she plans to jump on bounce equipment to emulate weightlessness, while also hooked up to wires and lines. Now again, it just goes to show you how far she's willing to go to own the backlash. She's trying to act like she's the bigger person here, that she's gonna own it, guys. She's gonna own it at any moment in her Lifetimes tour. And I think it's only gonna lead to further ticket sale, issues in specific US markets, because look, they themselves are already dealing with a lot of problems. Katy Perry's team, they realize this, that her tickets just are not selling in specific markets as once expected, and this stunt, it's only going to make things worse. Her team is very much divided over that, and that's exactly why you have a lot of division going on right now internally over, of course, Katy Perry's team. Now again, like I've said before in the past, I think that she is very well aware that there's a lot of criticism out there, that it is more than just a minority, as she once said. So I think that this is basically her way to get back at the critics. She's trying to seemingly annoy the critics. That's what I'm looking at right now. That's what it really comes across as, but I'll have to wait and see exactly how the public reacts to this once the Lifetimes tour progresses throughout, of course, the summer and throughout the fall of 2025. Again, this whole thing is set to end, I believe, by this December, and once you hit 2026, that's when she does plan to drop that new hit single, as she believes it's going to be a hit, and how she also wants to debut a music video that will also incorporate footage of Blue Origin. Overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.